Belly fat is so easy to gain and feels impossible to lose. If you've ever tried to diet it off, you already know that sometimes it feels like smashing your head against the wall. You clean up your food, lose a bit of weight, stomach barely changes. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to lose the belly fat in 3 clear stages. What to eat at each phase, how to avoid getting stuck, and how to keep the fat off long term instead of rebounding 2 months later. And this isn't some textbook information. This is the exact structure that I use for my clients, taking guys from overweight and frustrated to lean and confident without living in the gym or living on salads. If you want me to show you how I can do that for you, just click the first link in the description box, fill in your details, I'll run you through it in a lot more detail. But first, you need to understand something, and you're probably not going to like it. Your body doesn't prioritize belly fat first. It's like your body has a fat hierarchy, and it'll pull from other different areas first before it reaches your stomach. For most men, that stubborn belly fat doesn't really stop disappearing until around 15% body fat. By 12 or 10%, it's pretty much gone. Here's where you're probably messing up. That diet that gets you from 25 to 15% isn't the same diet that gets you from the 15 to the 10. Each stage requires a small adjustment. Think of it like climbing a mountain. The higher you get, the thinner the air. What works at base camp isn't going to work at the top. Stage 1 is simple. This is about getting from a higher body fat down to around 15%. And mentally, it's the easiest stage. Your hunger's manageable, your risk of losing muscle is very low, and fat comes off fairly steady. You only need to focus on 2 things, your calories and your protein level. You don't need to cut carbs, you don't need to eliminate your favorite foods, and you don't need to cut sugar. You need a calorie deficit. It's that simple. That just means eating slightly less than your body's burning. If your body's a bank account, fat loss only happens when you spend more than you deposit. Bear with me with these analogies. Now, the easiest way to do that without starving yourself every single day is by focusing on high voluminous foods. That's just a fancy way of saying foods that take up a lot of space in your stomach for not that many calories. Imagine 200 calories of Oreos. Now imagine 200 calories of strawberries. One is a handful, one is an absolute mountain. Same calories, very different fullness. Now, I'm not saying you can't have Oreos every now and again. I love them. But just try to make sure that everything in moderation. You see, your stomach doesn't count calories, it counts volume. So if you fill it with high volume foods, you naturally eat less without even trying. On top of that, unprocessed foods require more energy to digest. It's like your body burns a small processing fee to break them down, so try to get the majority of your calories from them food sources. If they have a mum or a dad or they come from the ground, you're in a good spot. Now, the second part is your protein. If calories decide whether you lose weight, protein decides what you lose. Without enough protein, you won't just lose fat, you also lose muscle. You want to be eating around 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 180 pounds, 180 grams of protein will be your sweet spot. Build each meal around a lean protein source and add fruit and veg for more volume. That's stage 1. If you stay consistent with that over a long enough period of time, you'll reach 15% body fat very easily. Because stage 2 feels different, and this is where a lot of people go wrong and fall off. You're hungrier, fat loss slows down, and your metabolism adapts. Your body gets smarter, and it starts protecting the remaining body fat that you've got left. The deficit that worked before may now not be enough. This is where you need to get more specific. You need to start tracking your food properly or follow a diet plan. Not guessing, not eyeballing, actually measuring the food that you put in your mouth. The research shows the majority of people underestimate their calorie intake by hundreds every single day. At this stage, small errors matter. The second adjustment, shift your carbs and your fats. Fats contain more than twice the amount of calories than your carbs. So if you lower your fat intake, not eliminate it, just bring it to around 20 to 25% of your overall calorie intake, you make room for more carbs. How does that help? Because carbs fuel your performance. Performance helps maintain muscle. Muscle keeps your metabolism a lot higher. Make those tweaks and you can push forward to that 12% body fat. And again, this is the exact stage. And again, this is exactly the stage where most guys mess up. And it's the exact problem that I solve within my coaching. We refine their numbers, adjust the macros, and prevent the stall before it even happens. If you want that done specifically for you, hit the link below and I'll run you through it in more detail. Now, stage 3, this is where it gets interesting. Getting from 12 to 10% or lower, this is where discipline needs to become a non-negotiable. Calories are tighter, hunger's more present, and energy can fall off a cliff if you're not careful. Your meals need to be high volume, high protein, and strategically planned. Meals out, alcohol, they matter a hell of a lot more within stage 3. I'm not saying you need to eliminate your life, but you do need to plan ahead so you can keep them things in. Because at this stage, one untracked weekend can wipe out a whole entire week's worth of progress. And here's the honest conversation most people try to avoid. Ask yourself, is this worth it? You need to have, it sounds cringy, but you need to have a strong enough reason why, because when you do, when you can't be asked to train, when you can't be asked to track, when you can't be asked to do all of the things that you need to do to get the result that you want, that reason why will push you through most sticking points. But for most natural lifters, 12 to 15% is usually more than enough. You look lean, you feel strong, you have energy, and you can maintain it. Getting leaner than that just requires more sacrifice. Lower energy, more discipline, and harder to recover. Trust me, when I did my photo shoot, yes, I looked unbelievable, but it's probably one of the most times in my life that I actually felt the worst. If you don't have enough muscle underneath, getting very lean can actually make you look smaller instead of bigger. So make sure before you get to this point, you've got a good amount of muscle tissue, so when you strip it all off, you look exactly how you imagined. If not, get to stage 2, enter a lean bulk. I'll cover that in another video. You see, abs aren't just about low fat, they're about muscle plus low fat. So before chasing sub 10%, make sure it actually aligns with what you want. Because trust me, if it doesn't, it ain't worth it. You see, overall, losing belly fat isn't too complicated. It's staged. Stage 1, you focus on your calories and your protein. Stage 2, you need to be more precise with everything and adjust your macros to align with the goal that you're working towards. And stage 3 is just simply enough discipline and sustaining that over a decent amount of time to reach that sub 10% body fat. The strategy is simple, consistency is the hard part. And that's why most people fail. They don't need more information, they need structure and accountability. And that's exactly what we build inside my coaching program. Step-by-step nutrition setup, personalized diets, macro adjustments, showing you how to eat out and still be in shape, showing you how to still go out drinking at the weekend and be in shape. To make this sustainable, not just short-term, but for the rest of your life. If that sounds like what you need, hit the link below. And if you click this video up here, I'm going to show you exactly how to structure your training alongside all of this so you can actually make progress week on week instead of spinning your wheels. It's what YouTube thinks you're going to watch anyway. So if you don't like it, blame them, not me. That's your lot. Thanks for coming. Peace.